Hello and welcome to Global Student Voices podcast. We're here with a very special guest today on the campus of HOPAC, Haven of Peace Academy in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I'm here with a recent graduate, Gilles. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I recently graduated from my school, senior year, and I have apparently written a whole entire book that I would love for the youth to actually listen to. Because it tackles more of the themes of what it is that you want in your life and to really figure out what it is that you want for your future, what your passions are. So if that's music, if that's art, if that's writing like me, or sports, then it would help you figure out how to pursue that and really get your life along.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's very inspirational. Tell me a little bit about the writing. Well, let me learn a little bit more about you first, just so people can connect. When we were talking earlier, you're saying that you have a German passport, but tell us just a little about your family connections and then maybe a little glimpse into what you might be doing in the future for schooling and career.
Well, we're still looking into universities, but the way it's looking for me, I'll be heading down to Germany as I'm a German citizen, and I'll be going to a theater school because I wanted to do theater and acting in the first place. And my family is pretty diverse, so I'm here in this continent on my own, for example. And my brother is already nearing its end for uni. He's already out in his own place. And my parents have been living on their own in Germany.
Cool. That's awesome. Most of the folks that are listening in have kind of this diverse background. You know, sometimes, like I was talking to one girl yesterday, her mom's from Thailand, her dad's from Sweden, she grew up in Denmark, she's lived in several other countries. That diversity, I think, kind of triggers something, and maybe that living here on your own independently has kind of triggered that for you, of where this book comes from, like the origin, like what were kind of inspirational moments, like what motivates you to, in addition to playing sports and doing your coursework, what motivates you to take the time to put pen to paper to write?
It was a growing conviction that I had that life's going to come at you no matter what. So it's more of a question of how are you going to prepare for it? Are you going to go in cluelessly and not know what you want to do? Or do you want to have at least some sort of idea of where you want to be? For example, if you're at the age of 25, by that point, how would you like your life to look like? What type of circumstances do you want to be in? How can I put myself in the best position possible so that I achieve that set goal?
Great.
So I think since I was in grade 11, I think that's my junior year, I have been separated from my whole family and I have to live on my own. So I have to clean on my own, sleep on my own, wake up on my own, on time for the school and do all these types of preparations earlier on, which forced me to just really, really take care of myself mentally and organize myself mentally, because now my parents are not going to wake me up.
Yeah.
My brother is not there. He's not going to wake me up. So I have to really just be self-sufficient and more self-conscious more than ever in order to just get my things together. And I was like, okay, if that's how uni is going to be, I really need to figure myself out.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage, I think, over students who maybe come from living at home and being very well taken care of to all of a sudden being on their own at university can be really traumatic. But for you, you've kind of already lived a little bit of that experience, and so that part of the transition won't be a challenge. So let's get into the book a little bit. Tell me, what's it called, and just, you mentioned a little bit of what you want people to get out of it, but give us a kind of the quick down and dirty, the 2-minute explanation.
The book that I've written is called Sovereignty. Sovereignty, some of you may not even know what that means. It means absolute supreme authority of oneself. So it's when you take control of your own self and you start to realize what it is that you would like and what it is that you want. Regardless of what other people think, it's what you want. It's a self-driven self-discovery of yourself in order to figure out what it is that you want. So what I wanted to do is just push people through my own story, because I do share my own story, but I don't expect them to care about my own story because they don't know me, right? They have not lived through my experiences. Everybody has their own circumstances. Everybody has different family dynamics and everything. So I don't expect you to care about my story. What I expect you to care about is the way I think, the way I mentally process things, find my own thinking patterns, and then use whatever conclusions I end up with and turn it into your own conclusions. Because I can't tell you exactly what the solution should be for your particular situation. That's just not realistic here, since especially I'm gonna reach out to somebody who I don't know, right? But hopefully through my own journey, through my own story, you can learn a thing or two that could help you in your own journey as you go along.
That's really powerful. And I think essentially there's something in there for everybody. There are people who just like to read other people's stories, and so for them, there's some value in the book. And one of the things that as I was reading your introduction that I was struck by is your intentionality with how you use language. Kind of reminds me of Mark Twain, who didn't write in the conventional formal structure of writing. He kind of wrote the way he thought and the way he spoke. So tell me a little bit about your decision to put it in your own voice, even in your grammatical structure.
Well, I just tend to not hold anything back in general. I'm very direct and honest, so I kind of say things how they are. That might come off as a little too strong for people, but also I kind of took the Shakespeare approach, as in let me try and do it my own way, my own style, instead of following a constant structure that I'm sure everybody has read constantly over and over again, which would make it also less interesting because now they know the format that you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of doing that, I was just thinking, how can I engage them to actually listen to what I'm saying? How can I make sure that this is not just some type of advertisement and I'm actually trying to just help them throughout their own lives? So how do I stand out?
Yeah, and finding your own voice. Obviously, there's thousands, millions of books out in the world. And so finding your own voice and finding it a way. And I love there's a humility that I see in the way you present it that basically says, I'm going to give it to you the way I see it, the way I experience it. And you're smart enough, you have enough to bring, when you bring yourself to this book, you're going to be able to find gems in this. There's good stuff in here for you. This is how I see it. That's not how you're going to see it. But by kind of living through you and the way you share it, hopefully it unlocks some of those dormant, recessive kind of back thoughts that students have, or even young adults have, that they just haven't found a way to express it themselves and been restricted by the conventions. They never tell my story that way. But you telling it in your own way kind of gives license, gives freedom to people to tell their own story, whether it's in music or art or however you want to express your story. You've just done it in this way and hope to challenge people. If you could write the future for this book, when you could say, 5 years from now, what would people be saying about this book? What would you like people to be saying about it?
For me, what I would like for people to be saying about it is just, if it helped you guys at all, just to be positive remarks and just, I want to hear how I managed to help people.
Yeah.
Because the book is genuinely just there to help people. It's there to help guide people, try to help maneuver their thinking, trying to help them figure out whatever puzzle they're in and try and get the keys to answer that puzzle that they're in. So let's say 5 years from now, the review I would probably be looking for this book is just more of a, this actually helped me get through in life a little bit. Now, it doesn't even have to be like a big, gigantic way. Even just a small, little, tiny wincy bit is more than enough.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's huge. And who wouldn't want to take a chance on a little bit of a win? Like if you could, I think a lot of people are stuck. And I think part of that's because there's just so much, we have access to everything in the world. And that, what I call choice paralysis. You just get stuck because there's so many choices. I think what you're trying to do here is wonderful because it's a very accessible, it's not a structured read. It's not like a textbook or something else that people are going to get stuck in. It's essentially giving people a way to have a conversation with you without you physically having to be there. It's safe. Like a lot of us are nervous to have real conversations with people. We need them. We desperately need them. But it's awkward, and we don't all have the skills to just reach out and say, hey, tell me about your story. Tell me about what you've experienced. Like, that's a hard conversation to have. So you've essentially given people a way to start that conversation with you, and hopefully, and it's a gift. Like, you're presenting it in a book format as a gift to say, here's my half the conversation. You supply your half the conversation. And that's how real learning happens, right? That's how we grow. That's how real growth happens. Part of our audience are the students, and obviously we want them to get a copy and join me in this conversation and write their own conversations and share those as well. But part of our audience is also school leaders. What would be the value of having your book as part of what, say, juniors or seniors read as part of their curriculum? There'd be a value in having that as part of a discussion lead in a school.
Well, it shows you how I happen to have my own child in there. I don't want to reveal too much about it. That does go into the details. But I would say there's something in it for everyone. I think regardless whether they're a student or postgraduate, uni, or whatever time period they are in their lives. Because it isn't just like a simple high school story. It does go abroad into some other countries and some of the other things I have to face outside of school.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, in terms of curriculum, it would help you learn how to be resilient because you see people having many different circumstances. Like some people are in learning support or they didn't have the best to start.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like some of those students are very discouraged or maybe are questioning whether they could even make it to graduation, even though they very, very much can. And I'm already a living example of that. So to those who really believe that they have some type of mental issue, or some teachers are a little skeptical of whether you could actually perform to the next class or the next grade, there is a huge chance that you really can. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or their opinions of other people. What matters is, do you have your own self-belief and do you know your own self-worth? The moment you know that, that's when you can start heading in the right direction. Because it's not about the grades, it's more about the mental and the spirit and the heart that you have in general. Do you have the spirit to actually succeed for yourself? Not for someone else's approval, but for your own ambitions.
That's fantastic. I think we'll leave it at that. We talked earlier for schools, if you'd like to have this as a fantastic real life guest in your classroom, we'll have your contact information as part of this podcast. It'll be in the link in the description, so people can get a hold of you. And if they'd like to have you present in class, links to your books, and as those links are available, or this will be coming out when those links are available. So it'll be in the description. You can get your own copy. And want to encourage that. We wish you all the best. This is very exciting, and glad Global Student Voices could be just one of those little pebbles that you talked about, hoping this would be for them. I hope that we can be that for you. Good luck.
Thank you.